A lot of photographers think that they need an epic location, crazy weather, or some spectacular, beautiful location just to take a good photo. But after years of shooting in all kinds of different locations and talking to thousands of photographers worldwide, I've come to realize that the problem usually isn't the places. You see, it usually comes down to 5 misbeliefs, and once you see them, it changes how you shoot completely. Misbelief number 1: you need epic locations to take epic photos. Now, a lot of photographers accidentally build their beliefs around that good photos can only come from epic mountains, dramatic weather, famous places, traveling to some rare locations, or some rare moments as well. But the thing is, a lot of strong photography is actually about noticing the light, simplifying the frame, choosing perspective, and then finding rhythm, shape, texture, contrast, scale, or color. You understand? I mean, of course, going to some next level locations is gonna help. I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence that Iceland, Faroe Islands, Dolomites, Patagonia, and places like that are photographers' dream because everything is just fantastic out there. But being in a little bit of a more boring location can be a perfect training ground because it forces you to compose your images much better. Basically, boring places, they're not a disadvantage. They are the perfect training ground. I mean, if you think about it, boring locations, that's where the fundamental of your composition gets built. If you know how to compose and create epic photos on a boring location, imagine what happens when you go to them sick next level shots. You will be a king, you know? I mean, the thing is, if your photography only works in amazing places, then it's probably the place that's doing most of the work for you. I know what you're going to say, but that Icelandic guy, what are you talking about? You live in Iceland. No, I don't live in Iceland. I live in the middle of Sweden, you know, in a pine forest all around me. And this is nice, but I also lived in the city. So I'll talk about that a little bit later. Anyway, if you want to become a better photographer, then I sent out a free weekly email. It's fun, easy to read, and packed with value. As I said, it's totally free, and you can find it in the description down below. Now, misbelief number 2. Your area is simply just too boring. Now, the thing is, people often think like this: my street is dull, my town is dull, my forest is dull, my fields around my town, or they're dull as fuck. But then they see someone else's boring neighborhood, and all of a sudden, that feels cinematic, interesting, foreign, and just texture that looks sick. So the issue isn't that the place it's boring itself, it's just that they've stopped seeing it. And that's because familiarity, that's a hard word in English, but that's because when things are familiar, it kills the curiosity. We had this really interesting conversation in the darkroom, and the darkroom is an online community for photographers that I run, and we have a bunch of things going on there. But one thing that we do every week is we jump on weekly live hangouts. It's like a Zoom call, and we get social and learn from each other. We had this conversation that everybody was feeling uninspired about their own place, and then we're a little bit envious over the other person we're living. One was living in like southern England. He's like, everything is so boring here, and I'm in the middle of Sweden, and I'm like, yeah, just pine forests, and like this is not natural forests. These are all acres. Like you can see, they cut down the tree here. It's just like forestry. The forestry in Sweden is just huge, and so on and so on. And then all of a sudden we said, wait a minute. I think your place is sick, but you think it's pretty boring, and you think my place is sick? I think that is pretty boring. I just realized, like, yeah, of course, you get so, in Sweden, they call it home blind. You get so home blind. I mean, I moved up here almost 2 years ago, and this is a little valley, and I think it looks pretty beautiful. But the people that live here, where they moved to, they were like, yeah, maybe it is beautiful. I just see it every day, so I don't really see the beauty, you know? It's the same as in Iceland, where I come from. Northern lights are very often. It's not like a uncommon thing. They're quite common in the wintertime. And when I'm with friends and never seen them, you see this like slight sliver of green. I don't even stop for that. And they go like, wow, this is Northern Light. And I'm like, nah, I would not even stop the car for this. The thing is, as human beings, we just become visually numb to the things that we see every single day. So, my friend, you're not living in a boring place. You might just be too familiar with it to really see it anymore. Which means that we have to practice being more open-minded and curious. And that does not only apply to the location that we find ourselves in, but also the style of photography. If you're a landscape photographer like me, living in a city, especially if it's not a fun city or a nice city, it can be really challenging. Believe me, I've been there. But leaning into different styles is something that helped me a ton. Portraits, I've tried that a lot, street photography, product, and you name it. And what happened when I do that, not only is it just fun to practice the love for photography, but also leaning into different genres,
It has allowed me to explore photography from a different angle, and I've always learned something cool that I can then bring back to my favorite niche, which is landscape.
Misbelief number 3. You need a big scene for a good photo. This is something that I see and hear quite often, especially for us that are really into landscape photography. And the thing is, when people say that a place is boring, they're usually looking for an entire scene. But my friend, good photos, they can come from much smaller things. For example, light, lines, textures, colors, shape, repetition, fog, reflection, shadow, layering, contrast, scale, and even isolation. And probably a lot more. That's a long list. But there is so much more that a photo can be than just a big, grand, epic scene. So instead of asking, where is the epic view, then ask, where is the best light? Where is the cleanest composition? What is it that catches my eye here? And also a question like, what is it that I can isolate? And what feels unusual today? My friend, this changes the entire game. The best photographers are not just good at photographing the biggest, most epic scene, they are extremely good at noticing the things that other people don't see. So, my friend, stop just chasing epic scenes and start chasing interesting light. Misbelief number 4. Ordinary places are holding you back. So, as we touched on before, then epic places can make average photos look pretty decent. But boring places, they force you to develop your skills. That means composition, patience, timings, lens choice, framing, storytelling, editing, and noticing the small details becomes hella important. Now, for example, my friend Mats Petter Iversen, maybe you guys know him. He's a fantastic landscape photographer from Denmark. He travels a lot and photographs all his most epic places, but one of his favorite things to do is to photograph Denmark, landscape photography. Guys, Denmark is really, really flat. Denmark is just Denmark. It's not known for epic landscapes. Not at all. They have like one hill that is 100 meters high. They have no landscape at all. But somehow, Mats manages to capture the most amazing photos in Denmark, and he loves it because it's such a good challenge for him. And that means that he really has to get specific with his composition, the way that he isolates the subject, the way that he's able to capture the light and harness it to create these beautiful, beautiful photos. I think it's fantastic. Now, I used to live in Stockholm, Sweden, which is the capital of Sweden, for a long time. And I'm into landscape photography mostly, but because I was in the city, it forced me to get into more of street photography. So I was looking at the urban architecture as a landscape, or finding maybe the road. This acts like a leading line and blah, 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 blah. You understand what I'm trying to say? But although the city itself is pretty interesting, then I lived in a boring neighborhood, and I thought it was so fun to find interesting frames there. For example, this photo right here is just a tram just outside my house. I just got in the 85mm Sigma and I captured this photo. Awesome. And the same evening, I saw these two photos here. I found the subject and then I squatted low and got a nice leading line, and it's just a nice photo in a really average neighborhood. Up here in northern Sweden, it is pretty nice. It's not Iceland or Dolomites or, Faroe Islands or anything like that. The landscape is not this aggressive, but it's pretty beautiful. But one thing that Sweden has is like 90% of the country is just pine forest. And as I said before, this is just forestry. So it's just the same trees everywhere. And the Swedes think this here is the most average, boring thing in the world. I say like, hey, you see all this tree? Because I'm from Iceland. We don't have a lot of forest. So I think this is so beautiful. But they're like, bro, this is nothing. But I've had so fun getting photos here from the forest and figuring out different compositions, because to me, this is new. And I love it. And I'm showing them here, and they're like, wow, I did not know that our forest looks so good. So as I've been hammering on this video, my friend, then boring places is where your composition gets built. And if you can make a strong photo in an ordinary scene, you're gonna be freaking dangerous when you get to one of them epic locations. By the way, if you're new to photography or you're stuck in this I kind of get it but not really phase, then I made something for you. It's called the 14-Day Photographer, and it's a course that will teach you not only everything about how your camera works and the fundamentals of what actually makes a good photo, but also how you can take a photo that you're actually proud of in just 14 days. It's built in 2 parts. First is the essential, which will teach you the ins and outs of your cameras and all of the settings that you need to know, and also the fundamentals of what actually makes a good photos. It's just 40 minutes. You can watch it instantly, and then we go on a 14-day journey together, me and you. So every single day, one video unlocks with one simple lesson and one simple task that you go out and do, and each task built on top of each other because photography is best learned by doing. Of course, you need some information and you need somebody to show you the skills, but you learn best photography by actually going out there with your camera and applying what you learned and capturing the photos, you know? So if that sounds interesting to you, my friend, then you can find more information in the description down below. Misbelief number 5. More time, more freedom, and more options would fix it. So the thing with this misbelief is that people often think if they just had more time, they were in a different location, there were more options around them, their photography would be much better. Now, a part of that is of course true. If you live in Iceland, you can always drive half an hour away, and you're on an epic location. But that can also make you a little bit lazy because constraints, it can be pretty damn useful. I mean, the thing is, if you only have 10 minutes, one lens, one local walk, one ugly forest around you, or it's just one street or one field, then those constraints can make you, or they will force you to be more creative. I mean, the thing is, too many options can make people lazy observers. I'm in the phase in my life where I recently had my third kid in under 5 years. So I have a 5-year-old, a 3.5-year-old, and a newborn in my home at the moment. It is absolute chaos at home. My time, absolutely zero. I have no self-time for myself. But every now and then, I manage to take my camera out, like today, for just half an hour or so, and I know, okay, now I have half an hour, maybe an hour, and I'm just going to use the best out of it and shoot. And what's happened is that I've managed to capture some pretty good photos during this time. And I think it's because I don't have a lot of time. So I don't have the luxury to be like, okay, here I have to wait and really try to compose. And maybe, is this photo, will that work? Instead, I'm just shooting and having fun with it. And instinctively just go like, okay, this looks good. Oh, this composition, this looks nice. You understand? And honestly, once you realize that your location isn't really what's holding you back, photography becomes so much more simpler. And that, my friend, is exactly what I break down in this video right here.